everyone, you're watching NDTV. It's a big moment for India. Key conspirator of 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks, 64-year-old Pakistani-Canadian terrorist Tahawwur Hussain Rana is in India and is all set to face the full might of Indian judicial system. Tahawwur's extradition will bring some closure for Mumbai terror attack victims. Remember, almost 200 people were massacred by the Lashkar-e-Taiba in 2008.
You know, this is, ladies and gentlemen, also a testimony of India's never give up spirit for chasing terrorists more than 17 years down the line and for bringing them to justice. It sends a strong message to terrorists anywhere. India will hunt you down no matter how long it takes. Our special focus is going to be on the extradition. Tahawwur Rana finally in the hands of the Indian authorities. We'll bring you all the latest. Our colleagues are spread across at this moment at the key places.
Let me go straight to Anuj first, who is joining us from Mumbai. That is the city which was battered, bruised, a city which still carries that, perhaps anger and also trauma of what really played out in those 100+ hours. Anuj is joining us from outside Taj Mahal Hotel, which was the epicenter, which actually bore the brunt of those attacks by the mastermind Tahawwur Rana, who actually plotted this entire terror strike. Question is, what are Mumbaikars thinking about today? Not just the survivors, not just the eyewitnesses, but ordinary Mumbaikars.
Mare, what the attacks did to the city is something that is that can only be experienced once an individual interacts with the Mumbaikars, right? You can see it's a beautiful city, and it becomes even prettier when it is night. And in fact, I'm standing at that very spot where the attack took place, and you can see how colorful it is here, right? We've been talking, and as Radhika has also been pointing it out since morning, we've all been in contact and in touch with the survivors, with the victims, and also with the general Mumbaikars, not just today or with light of this story, but for quite some time, while talking about Tahawwur Rana or this entire case of 26/11. And yes, there are the keywords, the obvious keywords about wanting justice, and we hear about there shouldn't be any delay when it comes to Tahawwur Rana, as was the case earlier. But what is more important is that the entire incident captured the mostly infamously used term spirit of Mumbai in its best possible way. We saw that the entire city united to show the value and respect each other's brethren. Of course, the attack happened at 11 sites, and these 11 sites were mostly concentrated in the southern part of the city. We saw that a lot of international tourists, a lot of foreigners who were also here, they also got impacted by it. And only when these terrorists were trying to move towards the western suburbs, they were trying to move towards the places which have more dense pockets of population, that is when they were all stopped and killed by our security forces. While on one hand we saw that there were certain loopholes which had to be rectified, and this was a very ugly mirror that was shown to us, be it the security at the CST station, be it the security at such high profile hotels, or even the general security when it comes about the coastline and all. However, on the other side, we saw that the general mass, irrespective of what class they came from, they stood together. We've recorded numerous stories, and we've also played these case studies on NDTV for quite some time about how people who sell chai, people who sell chaat outside CST station, outside the Taj Mahal Hotel, or even at the Nariman House, they came together to help people whom they had no idea about, right? And these are the stories which remain etched in the memory of not just one individual or one group, but the psyche of the entire city. Although the incident is only 15 years old, and when you look back at it, it might look something that is fairly old for some people. However, for those who've been living here, it is not that old. It's something that is going to stay with them forever. We heard it from two survivors today that when the attacks took place at the CST station and they were present there, it's been 15 to 17 years ever since they witnessed those attacks. But till date, they are scared to see that place. Till date, whenever they passed through that railway station, whenever they passed through this Taj Mahal hotel area, they feel the trauma that they experienced in a very physical form on what happened in the span of that 4 to 5 days when they were here, troubling or getting troubled by those terrorists. So all of these things put together, in a way captures the spirit of Mumbai. Of course, it is positive, it is negative, that is for others to decide. But this is what they wanted to reflect. So when
Whether
we talk
you
about
call
the
it
entire
the
story, it is much
spirit
bigger
of
than just
Mumbai or
terming it
people
as a
coming
revenge for
together
a few
in
people.
face, Anuj, of that massive carnage that the city had to in fact undergo in 2008. The fact remains, the scars are still there, and hopefully there will be some closure with this terrorist now being brought to justice. Sunil Prabhu, our colleague, is joining us from the NIA headquarters. Three important locations in the national capital, and that is where the spotlight is. The place where Tahawwur Rana, the man who thinks India is an enemy country, used to serve in the Pakistani army as a doctor, then settled in Canada, is right now on the Indian soil and will be facing the full might of the Indian justice system. That Palam technical area where he landed, the Patiala House Court, these are the visuals where he will be in fact taken. Hopefully this is where we'll get the first glimpse of a man who possibly, and I'm absolutely sure, will be absolutely shattered from inside. He tried every trick in the book to evade this day, but we pursued him. And of course, the NIA headquarters where Sunil Prabhu at this moment is, where the investigation will be taking place. The agency, NIA, the nodal agency, in fact, leading this investigation. Sunil, what are you hearing from your contacts? By when is he expected at the court, and then, of course, in the custody of the NIA?
Well, what we are expecting is shortly after 8 o'clock, because right now the Bureau of Immigration is investigating. He's doing that medical examination. All the paperwork is being done. And then from there directly he will be taken, because the judge usually likes to first time see the, the terrorist, in this case the accused, and will definitely, have a look at him, hear him out before remanding him to judicial, to police custody for further investigation. From the NIA's part, you have the Special Public Prosecutor, Mr. Narendra Maan, as well as Senior Advocate Daya Krishnan, who is also present. Mr. Rana has also used the Delhi Legal Service Authority's lawyer to defend him, Mr. Sachdev. So definitely both sides will have to put across their view. I don't think Mr. Rana has any time to actually consult with his lawyers at this present juncture, but at any given point of time, the semblance of the rule of law will be followed, but definitely a lot of questions to be asked of his role in 26/11. What was his relationship with David Headley, who they both were together in Pakistan in the elite military school, and how did they work together, the kind of recce, the kind of contacts that they had, the kind of elaborate preparation that they did ahead of the 26/11 attacks, which really created a very, very dastardly a terrorist attack on the Indian soil in the city of Mumbai, something that has never been the same again for Indians. In particular, the office behind me, the NIA, was a creation post 26/11. Immediately after that, parliamentarians passed the NIA Act, brought in the NIA, and the rest, as we can see, is now that Rana is being tried for the very same acts of terror that had been committed on Indian soil.
Okay. Sunil, we are seeing some visuals come in. Of course, these are of that very, very horrific day. The visuals on your screen right now is of Patiala House Court. I can see Ghazali joining us from Patiala House Court. We also have Aishwarya Jain joining us from Palam Technical Airport. The question is, has David Coleman Headley left Palam Technical Airport? Ash? Tahawwur Rana left Palam Airport.
Well, we don't know yet as far as Mr. Rana had left the Palam Technical Airport, or still the paperwork or the medical examination is currently going on as far as, the entire, security personals and the squad team, all that went inside. They have not left the airport yet. So it is not confirmed as of now that whether he has left the airport, but the paperwork was done as soon as he landed on the Indian soil, and it was the NIA who was supposed to take the custody. But the Delhi traffic police sources have told to us that at 8 p.m. sharp was a time when there was supposed to be a route that was to be in place from the Palam Technical Airport towards the Patiala House Court, where he is all set to be produced before the judge. The entire Patiala House Court has already been cordoned off, but at the Palan Technical Airport, I must tell you at this point of time that still it is a heavy secured zone. The police deployment that we were witnessing in the evening is still there, and all these officials who went inside hasn't left the Palam Technical Airport as of now. So whether there would be separate gate that Mr. Rana would be leaving from, or from this very main gate where we all see usually Prime Minister, Defence Minister, CDS, all the VIPs that leaves from this very gate, he would be also taking this route or not is something that time will only tell. But still, the officials and the top security officials who went inside this afternoon hasn't left the Palam Technical Airport as of now.
Right. So it's been a long wait and a long flight, in fact, from United States to India. It is going to be a long night as well, but the nightmare for Tahawwur Rana has just begun as he faces the full music of the Indian judicial system. And the first stop is going to be, for him, will be the Patiala House Court. My colleague Mohammad Ghazali is reporting from the Patiala House Court. Massive security cordon there, Mohammad Ghazali. We can see hundreds of policemen behind you. By when are we expecting Tahawwur Rana to be brought in? Because this is also a place where many are hoping that the first glimpse of one of the key conspirators of 26/11 carnage would be visible for 140 crore Indians.
Ankit, we don't have a timeline yet, because what we are picking up since morning that he would be arriving or landing in the morning, but he arrived at landed around 6 to 7, between 6 to 7. The kind of security here we are seeing at gate number 4, if my camera person will show you, the traffic is normal. They have not stopped or barricaded this entire street right outside the gate number 4 of the Patiala House Court. But we are also picking up that the security has been beefed up on the other side of the court, where we have gate number 1. Perhaps he can be, if physical appearance happens, then he can be brought in from gate number 1. We don't know the timeline yet, but we know that the special public prosecutor, whose notification came in recently, he is inside the court. One lawyer from the Delhi Legal Service Authority, he will be representing Tahawwur Rana. The time schedule as to when the hearing begins is not confirmed yet. We still don't know whether he will be going to the NIA headquarters first, or will be directly brought in here at the court, because the public prosecutor and other senior advocate are inside the court premises waiting for his arrival. And as you rightly pointed out, after a very long wait, the wait is still stretching for us, because the cops are still not confirming whether there will be a physical appearance or whether there will be a video conference through which he will be produced in the court.
Ghazali, Tahawwur Hussain Rana has been charged with criminal conspiracy, waging war against the government of India, murder, forgery under the UAPA, the most tough act, which is the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. And there is a fortress of sort which has, the place where Ghazali is right now, which is the Patiala House Court, that has been converted into a fortress. He is likely to be placed in a safe house. What will that safe house be? Perhaps Aishwarya can answer that question, and then I bring in the guests.
Well, that's right. That's the plan of action as far as the security officials are concerned. There are several processes that will take place as far as NIA taking custody, Tahawwur Rana being produced in the court, medical examination being done, all the paperwork will be done, and later, where he will be spending the night tonight is the bigger question, whether it would be an NIA cell, because all the arrangements have been made there as well at the NIA headquarters as far as the high-profile criminals are concerned, the terrorists who have been brought through extradition process. It could be at the NIA headquarters where he can spend the night as well, and therefore the reason perhaps the entire area in and around the NIA headquarters had been cordoned off with heavy security deployed over there as well. So multiple options before the security officials, and they have all those plan in action in place. Already things had been done as far as the formalities are concerned, but the security officials, the agencies want to tick every box as far as the entire legal process is concerned, because a man is being brought after 16 years with all that hard work that agencies had put through via extradition.
And of course, important paperwork. India has shown the world with, even when Ajmal Kasab was tried, that even a terrorist here goes through the entire judicial system before they meet, in fact, the punishment that they deserve. All the documentation being done at this moment, of course, it is going to be all the boxes that need to be ticked. But let me also at this juncture bring in Rajita Kulkarni. She's author, 2611 Carnage survivor. We also have Navneet Vasan, former Joint Director, CBI, joining us at the moment. Welcome both of you. Ms. Kulkarni, let me start by asking you this. For a lot of people, when we talk about what happened in Mumbai on that fateful night, you are still talking from a distance. You lived it. You lived that night. What does Tahawwur Rana, one of the key conspirators, one of the puppeteers of that entire squad that came and resulted the carnage in Mumbai, what does him coming and facing the Indian judiciary, what does that mean to you, ma'am?
Yes, thank you for having me on your panel. And, I was watching the reportage by your team, and it is an extraordinary achievement by our government. It is a big day for us. It is a cathartic day for us. It has taken 16, 17 long years, but our security agencies and our government has been at it with a very strategic focus to reach this day today of his extradition. And I think what we need to do is focus ahead and make sure that we can book him and bring justice. He has the blood of India and Indians on his hand. And the faster the justice can be, can be done, I think it's better for all of us, and it will give a very big signal to the world that as a country, we are not a pushover. We cannot be just taken lightly and for granted. You cannot enter my country, conduct terrorist activities and get away with it. This terror attack was not a small one. 3 days, 3.5 days. It was a live situation attacking very prime locations in Mumbai, the economic capital of India, the core of India, and you cannot get away with it. We are a top 5 economy of the world. We are not just a nobody. We will become a top 3 economy of the world. So I think today is a day for me personally of great catharsis and gratitude. I think a big thank you is due to the Supreme Court of the US, to President Trump, to Prime Minister Modi, to Jaishankarji, to everybody from the security agencies who worked for these many years to help us reach this day today. In fact, some of the stills that you were showing, there was one of the stills where I was running with my husband the next morning when we were finally rescued by the NSG around 10 in the morning. We came out of the Taj Mahal Hotel, but these boys seemed to be somewhere in a vicinity where they started shooting from inside the hotel outside. So through the night, we actually missed them 5 times at different places. Either we would run to safety to a particular place and they would have just left from there, or, we would leave from somewhere and they would arrive like this. And finally, when we came out, they were shooting from inside to outside to us, and there we didn't even have any cover, and those images I could see now on your monitors, and it was a dastardly attack. It was
Absolutely,
an audacious attempt made to attack our nation. We should not forgive it, we should not forget it, and I hope that justice is done very quickly now.
Absolutely. We should not forget it, because it is a reminder that India can, and Indians, when they say resilience, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can take us for a ride. You can conduct carnage on our soil. That's why this day is very, very crucial. Navneet Vasan, what does it mean for investigating apparatus of India, security apparatus of India? Because it's very interesting that the moment Tahawwur Hussain Rana landed on the Indian soil, in that special plane, that's when the NIA issued a formal press release talking about how there were multiple agencies, Department of Justice, and other agencies with which they worked to ensure this extradition.
You see, it has been really a hard work for investigating agencies, both Mumbai police and later NIA. They have pieced together evidence and forwarded it to Department of Justice. And it's not easy to get any criminal extradited from another country. It's really a tough challenge for investigation agencies. And hats off to investigation agencies in piecing together the evidence, pursuing it at different levels in collaboration with FBI and Department of Justice, and ensuring that such a dreaded terrorist is finally brought to India to face the law of the land.
That's very important. It's also important messaging, not just for our people, but also to the world, that India will not give up on its pursuit for justice for people, those who have attacked us, are hiding anywhere. They will not. One day they will have to face the music. Let me very quickly go back to our colleague Mohammad Ghazali. There is some movement outside the Patiala House Court. We'll keep, in fact, going to our colleagues to get you the latest, in fact, details which are coming in at this moment. Mohammad Ghazali, some movement outside the Patiala House Court. Anxious, not only the people, those who are watching it, but I'm sure the cops and the journalists also waiting with bated breath.
Just look at the sheer deployment which has been put forth by the Delhi police. It is this deployment which shows the significance of the day and how high profile this terrorist is.
He's a high value target, no doubt about that. Mohammad Ghazali, over to you.
See, right now the cops are deployed here. Everybody is being stopped from moving towards the entrance gate, and some of them have also confirmed that the entry will be from here, the gate number 4 of the Patiala House Court. The security has also been beefed up on the other side and near the gate number 1. What we are being told that gate number 1 is the place from where hardened criminals, when they are brought into the court via a bus or a large vehicle, are meant to enter through gate number 1, which is on the other side. But as of now, the cops are confirming that this is the location, this is the gate through which Tahawwur Hussain Rana will be brought into the court here, and that will be a physical appearance. That is why this huge deployment of police forces. We don't know as if the traffic will be stopped once the convoy, NIA convoy taking him in the court, will be moving closer to the court. But as of now, the traffic is normal. Only additional cops are getting deployed near the entrance of the court and on the other end of the road, from where perhaps the vehicle is expected to come. We don't know yet whether Tahawwur Hussain Rana has left or reached the NIA headquarters yet, but we believe that the hearing will take place after an hour or so, is what the other sources within the court premises are hinting.
Okay, Marian, for people, those who are not from the national capital, where Mohammad Ghazali is standing at the gate number 4, that actually is the family court. That's where you go for the family court. There is a big board there of the family court, and it's ironical that a man who destroyed so many families today would be, in fact, going through that route. facing
In fact,
justice.
Ghazali was showing that family court board. Perhaps we can cut across to it and see the irony of it as well.
So it's, you know, it's just wheels churning the way they have been. But we are also being joined at this moment by Sandeep Unnithan, senior Indian journalist, author who had extensively documented the 26/11 Mumbai attacks through his book Black Tornado. And we are being joined by Mr. Loknath Behra, and former IGNIA. Gentlemen, thank you for being with us at this moment. KP Raghuvanshi, former ATS chief of Mumbai, is also with us this evening. Thank you to all of you. Sandeep, let me ask you this, because, you know, I read that book, and it gives you goosebumps when you go through pages, turn the pages of what happened that night, the way you have documented it. A lot of what Tahawwur Rana did has already been established in many ways. What else now can we expect? Of course, it's a big occasion, symbolically as well, but what else can we expect, you know, to try and nail the other conspirators of the Mumbai attacks from Tahawwur Rana?
Well, Ankit, thanks for having me. Firstly, you know, Mumbai itself, there have been previous major attacks by the Pakistan Army on Mumbai, starting from 1993. 1993, 2006, the train bombings, and finally 26/11 in 2008. Over 15 years, the Pakistan military has launched a campaign of war against India's economic capital. And it's very interesting, it comes after economic liberalization. Post 1991, they started this phase of attacks using proxies. Every of these attacks is carried out by proxies.
That's right.
In 93, it is the Dawood Ibrahim Crime Syndicate. In 2006, it is the Indian Mujahideen. And finally, in 26/11, it is the Lashkar-e-Taiba, who are disguised as Indians. Like, we all know the story of how they were given ID cards of a college in Hyderabad. They were given red threads to pass off as Indians. The Pakistan Army wanted this attack to look like it was Indians attacking Indians. And now what we know for sure is, after David Headley was interrogated by the NIA in 2010, Mr. Loknath Behra was one of the 4-member NIA team that interrogated David Headley in the United States. Headley, for the first time, gave us clear indications that there was a Pakistan military hand involved in 26/11. He said not just the Pakistan Army's ISI, but there was a Pakistan...
First set of visuals, perhaps that is Tahawwur Hussain Rana.
Yes.
That is the visual of Tahawwur Hussain Rana being held by NIA special, you know, the officers who went to get him. That is the visual of Tahawwur Hussain Rana. You know, this is what we were waiting for. The first picture after landing on Indian soil. He's a 64-year-old man, a Canadian citizen of Pakistani origin based in Chicago. Tahawwur Hussain Rana is accused of playing a key role in 2008 attacks in Mumbai. It is India's financial capital. Remember, 166 families were destroyed that day, 166 lives lost. And Pakistani-American terrorist David Coleman Headley, who is the prime accused in this attack, had said that Tahawwur Rana had extended logistical and financial support for the terror operation. The charge sheet had in fact said that Rana had assisted Headley in many ways, including setting up of an immigrant law center in Mumbai.
Life comes full circle, ladies and gentlemen. 16 years from the time that terror attack took place in Mumbai. These are first pictures, and I can completely tell you that Tahawwur Rana, he tried every trick in the book to try and evade this moment. These pictures of a Pakistani Canadian terrorist. In fact, the man, he served in the Pakistani army in some capacity. For him, he is in the enemy country, and this moment in the custody of the Indian authorities, finally on Indian soil, who will be facing the full might of the Indian justice system. First pictures of Tahawwur Hussain Rana now available to us here on NDTV. You are seeing these pictures of a 64-year-old man who tried everything to evade this day, now in fact being escorted by the Indian security agencies to face the music here in the country. Key conspirator, man who in fact provided the finances, logistics for this entire operation, classmate of David Coleman Headley, now in the Indian custody. The security agencies, NIA, their sleuths taking him at the airport. This picture was taken right after he landed on the Indian soil.
Mr. Raghuvanshi, as the former ATS chief, we are looking at these visuals. This moment was long awaited, 17 long years for the investigating agencies as well, as they pursued this case relentlessly. When we look at this, what are your thoughts, sir?
Thank you for having me here. It is a very satisfying evening for me because as Mr. Kulkarni mentioned earlier, Mumbai has been facing and experiencing this kind of attack since 1993. I have seen dead bodies not in one, two, but number of cases. And whenever we investigated the case, Mumbai police investigated the case, we were able to only catch the soldiers who were firing the shot. Either they were putting the explosives or they were like Kasab also, he was merely like a soldier only. He had nothing, he had no knowledge except that he was given 1 lakh rupees, he was given training, and along with 10 fellows, he was sent here. We came to know during various investigations the hands of Pakistan. But this is for the first time the conspirators, the mind behind all this kind of acts, particularly 2611, Headley, Major Iqbal, and Rana, all these fellows, and maybe many more. Maybe during the investigation, when they will be interrogating Rana, some more names may come. So for me, I remember I was at VT that day, and when unfortunately Mr. Karkare was killed that night, I had to take over the charge of ATS again. Although subsequent operation was conducted by NSG, but I was closely associated not only with the operations, because I was running from one place to another place, how best can be done from outside, and with the crime branch during investigation. I remember after 4 days when all these were neutralized, when we entered in Hotel Taj and Oberoi, we found dead bodies of very senior people, well-to-do fellows, under the table, under the chairs, when their body had swollen. So all that evening, for the last 24 hours, when I have been hearing that he's coming, ultimately he has come. And now I can say that Kasab was a soldier. Earlier, others 9 were killed. But this is for the first time that such an important fugitive has been brought. And we have been telling with loud voice that Pakistan's hand is involved. Earlier also it was said, but now world has accepted it. US government has cooperated, US courts have cooperated, NIA and Mumbai police has investigated the case thoroughly, and today we can see the results. So for me, as a Mumbaikar, as a investigating officer, and as a policeman, it is a very satisfying evening for me that
Absolutely,
such fellow has
sir.
come and he will be put to justice.
Bera, who is the former IG of NIA, is joining us as well. In fact, he was one of the officers who had questioned David Coleman Headley. So, Mr. Bera, the NIA has formally arrested Tahawwur Hussain Rana, who is the key conspirator of the 2611 attacks. And he has, the NIA says that there was a joint effort of the NSG and NIA. Top officials had gone to Los Angeles in the US to get him to India. It was a coordinated effort of the External Affairs Ministry, Ministry of Home Affairs. What is clear is that this is a huge victory for Indian diplomacy and security agencies. Sustained, concerted effort for 17 long years, sir.
Yeah, see, this is what we say is the international cooperation and cooperation amongst the agencies. Look, I'll explain. There are so many actually contradictions which have been telecast or reported in media, that how important is this particular extradition. Whether some people say that Tahawwur Rana is a very small thing, so it's not very important. I'll put it in this way. See, he is a charge-sheeted accused in 2 cases. Number one which we charge sheeted in 2011. For the larger conspiracy, the charge sheet is before the NIA Special Court in Delhi. In 2023, the Mumbai police have charge sheeted him for the Mumbai terror attack. There are differences. The NIA charge sheet is relating to the larger conspiracy much beyond the Mumbai attack, because these people were also wrecking other places, including National Defense College and etc. You know about that. And there were probably bigger game plans. Some of them could be actually revealed during the investigation. Some are yet to be revealed. Therefore, these extradition assumes more importance because we had never got an access to Rana to be interrogated just like we did it for in respect of Headley. So what is important is that to elicit maximum information, and I'm sure he knows certain things which we do not know. And probably that will be actually more revealing. And I will not be surprised to see that more names come out. And see, for example, we know the handlers of David Coleman Headley. But who were the handlers of Rana? Maybe they are same or they are different. So all these questions were there during our investigation, but we could not answer that because of lack of access to this person. Today, we are in a better position, and it is actually a victory of diplomacy or the concerted effort of all the agencies or the government and various departments. Okay, we brought him.
Sir,
so
may I just ask you, sir, because a lot of people at this moment are very interested because NIA is the agency which is in fact handling this entire matter. These are visuals like as you are speaking, first pictures of Tahawwur Rana in the custody of NIA at this moment being splashed all across the screens of Indian media. May I just, for the benefit of our viewers, understand from you what happens now? What will be the procedure that the agency would be going through? What are the steps that happens from here on after Tahawwur Rana has been brought back?
And I'll ask one, and I'll add to that thought that has been shared by Ankit, Mr. Behra. And what happens between Delhi and Mumbai?
Okay, I'll answer this question because a lot of actually regional channels also ask me this question. Look, what happened according to the law, the person actually is shown arrested once he lands in India. It's a formal arrest is being done by the NIA, which has the jurisdiction and power to arrest. Then what happens? He is produced in the court, and the NIA will ask for his custody. And after the custody is granted, which under the UAPA, they can get custody for 30 days, maybe in 2 or 3 installments, not continuously for 30 days. During this time, they will do an interrogation, find out various facts, additional facts, and they verify them. And all the things which come out from Rana will be treated as information which have to be converted to evidence by verification, cross-verification, etc. After that particular evidence is collected, a supplementary charge sheet has to be put by the NIA because already there is a charge sheet, and additional materials collected will be formed as a additional supplementary charge sheet and put before the court in Delhi. After that particular thing, the trial will be starting in Delhi. That is one part. Similar exercise also will be done in Mumbai because the 2 cases are different and there are 2 jurisdictions. Therefore, unless the Supreme Court merges these 2 cases and makes a special court, there will be 2 trials. One will be in Delhi, another will be in Mumbai. And Mumbai police also will have what procedure I told in respect of NIA. Mumbai police is also mandated to do that. So this is what is going to happen.
But you've said something very important, and perhaps that gives us a clear timeline of what will be happening from now onwards. There'll be 2 trials happening in 2 different cities, one in Mumbai and another one in Delhi, because if these 2 cases are separate, then that's how it will be playing out. Mr. Behra, last question. It is David Coleman Headley's testimony which has nailed Tahawwur Hussain Rana. David Coleman Headley, of course, was an eyewitness. He turned an approver, and that's the reason why he was saved. The question is, what next in this case? Of course, we will get to know lots about the entire conspiracy, the role of Lashkar-e-Taiba, Hizbul Mujahideen, during the course of this investigation with Tahawwur Hussain Rana. But what about David Coleman Headley? Has he gotten away?
No. You see, actually, when these two persons were arrested by the FBI in 2009, in the month of October, so we had an access to Headley, thanks to the diplomacy, thanks to the good relations, thanks to the good work, and we actually could examine David Coleman Headley and get some information. But that did not happen in respect of Rana. So that is the one part of this. But in the process, what has happened is that David Coleman Headley actually invoked plea bargaining and with the concerned court in America. And on the basis of that plea bargaining, he will not be extradited to any country, including India or in Denmark or some other places wherever there is a case. So anything you have to do, it has to be done in American soil. So he cannot be extradited as on date, as per the law now, or whatever is. If there's something changes subsequently, I do not know, but he cannot be extradited. Whereas the Tahawwur Rana actually was sentenced for 14 years of imprisonment for Denmark case, and he was acquitted for Mumbai case. But that will be again Mumbai case. Then whether actually there was a question whether it will be a double jeopardy. So the US court has also been convinced that it will not be a double jeopardy, and he can be tried here. So Tahawwur Rana's role is that, look, he will be telling something, I believe, I personally am very convinced, will be telling something which will be very relevant and maybe more information than we know. So it is important. So am I clear about this?
Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much. I mean, it's been a pleasure having you at this moment. Fantastic work done by you and the agency and, you know, successive governments for us to, in fact, see this day where Tahawwur Rana, one of the key conspirators, is on Indian soil. Thank you for joining us at this moment. Sandeep, let me bring you in. A lot of people, and especially their handlers possibly today in Pakistan, would be watching this, and this picture which has been released by the National Investigation Agency, one of the coldest pictures on Twitter or on X today, where Tahawwur Rana is standing on Indian soil, the soil where they unleashed that carnage. What would be happening there? How would they be looking at these developments? Is there a sense that there is still efforts on by the Indian side, by the Indian government, to get the hands of the law to the real conspirators in Pakistan as well?
Well, absolutely, Ankit. And I believe Tahawwur Hussain Rana, as Mr. Behra mentioned, is so crucial for us because he is going to uncover the links of the Pakistan army and the deep state to the 26/11 attack. Like I said, this was an attack that was carried, it was planned, resourced, trained for by the Pakistan military. That includes the Pakistan Army, the ISI, and the Pakistan Navy. These, the LET guys, the foot soldiers, were just the cutouts that actually carried out the attack. Tahawwur Hussain Rana is very important because he was an undercover ISI cell that was planted in North America. Like the ISI, like all intelligence agencies, they have cells, they have sleeper agents in various countries. Tahawwur Hussain Rana was one of those sleeper cells that was operating in Canada and the United States. He recruited David Headley because he saw Headley as being the ultimate double agent. He is a man with two names. He had a Pakistani name. He was Dawood Gilani, and then he changed his name to David Coleman Headley to pass off as an American so that he could carry out this reconnaissance between 2006 and 2008. So that is really Tahawwur Hussain Rana's importance. And this actually, the message that comes out of this arrest and extradition of Tahawwur Hussain Rana to the handlers, to the military masterminds in Pakistan is that you're not safe. You can bet that the Indian state will come after you. It will take 17 years, but we will eventually get you. We will extradite you. You will stand trial. The world will know of the kind of conspiracy that you try to pull off. You try to massacre 1,000 Mumbaikars. The plan for 26/11, Ankit, was diabolical. I've seen the assessments that our agencies made after the attacks. It was to kill over 1,000 Mumbaikars. They wanted to have 5 parallel sieges, including one at the VT station and at the new wing of the Taj Hotel. Those two didn't happen. Fortunately for us, the casualties came down. It was 166 casualties, still a very large number, but still it wasn't what the planners wanted. And of course, the last and the final piece of the puzzle was that they wanted this to look like Indians had attacked Indians. That did not happen because of that very, very brave Mumbai police constable officer Tukaram Omble, who grappled with Kasab, who captured him alive, and he told the tale of how the Pakistan army, the Pakistan ISI had trained these guys, sent them across, and after Ajmal Kasab, Ankit, Tahawwur Hussain Rana is the most crucial evidence linking the Pakistan state to the 26/11 attacks.
Multiple dossiers have been sent by India, and perhaps after what Tahawwur Hussain Rana tells the investigating agencies, India will be able to make a better case. And we are certainly hoping that the real planners who along with Tahawwur Hussain Rana are now on the other side of the border in Pakistan will be brought to justice as well. They have to face the Indian justice system. But these visuals, ladies and gentlemen, let's be clear, is about the victory of Indian diplomacy under Prime Minister Narendra Modi. There has been relentless effort that has been put forth by the External Affairs Ministry, by the Home Ministry, and that's what we are seeing today play out. Let me go straight to Ghazali, who's joining us live again from where Tahawwur Hussain Rana is expected to arrive any moment now. The entire Patiala House Court has been turned into a fortress, Ghazali, but we still do not know when is he expected, or do we know now?
We don't know as of now that when is he expected. It still may take more than an hour or so, is what we are being told, before the trial begins or before he is produced in the court. Because the traffic here suggests that perhaps he is not left the headquarters from where he will be brought to the court. So there is still a suspense, no clarity as to by what time the trial will begin or by what time he'll be produced in the court. Because in the court, perhaps the only argument will be about the judicial custody or the custody by the agencies. So it may not take very long inside the court as far as the trial is concerned, or as far as what happens inside the court after he is produced. But the exact time by when the trial begins is still unsure. We are trying to keep an eye across the road on the movement of the cops, and anytime if a senior official moves around this area, we are alert to track whether it's Rana who is being brought to the court. But as of now, no clarity. But what are some legal luminaries here who are also here to witness what happens inside the court, they suggest that perhaps it may not take very long before the court decides as to what will happen with the custody of Rana, whether he is sent to the judicial custody or to the custody of the agencies.
Right, important it would be. Of course, we are expecting that the agencies will get an opportunity to question Tahawwur Hussain Rana. The first visuals that you are seeing, these are two pictures, ladies and gentlemen. One, when he was in the custody of the United States, a lot has passed through, because remember, it's been 16 years. He's now a 64-year-old man. And at this moment, in fact, he's facing his worst nightmare. He is on the Indian soil, which Tahawwur Rana and the likes of him will consider an enemy state. He is in the enemy state, in the custody of our security agencies, and at this moment all set to face the full brute might of the Indian judicial system in one of the biggest, in fact, terror attacks that took place on our soil. We'll continue to get you more details. Let me very quickly go across to Mr. Vasan. Mr. Vasan, other agencies are also involved. They would also want, a piece of Tahawwur Rana, question him as well. What will be those key, pieces of that puzzle that they would be looking at Tahawwur Rana to unravel, in fact, at this moment?
See, the most important thing which the investigation agencies like NIA and Bombay Police They will try to get information out of Mr. Tahawwur Rana, and then, as Mr. Bara also explained, verify the information shared by him or revealed by him, collect evidence in support of that information to ensure a logical trial to this man who played havoc with this country. This thing, number one. Other agencies, law enforcement agencies, will also be interested in having the information in the sense this is not one time a terror attack. There have been various instances, various efforts which might have failed. So that information will also become relevant. That what kind of planning, what kind of the work which goes behind this terror attack on this country. So that is also very important because that will help us in preventing such attacks in future. And that information will be crucial.
As someone who has worked in ATS, what is it that the anti-terror organization, such as that body, will be interested in knowing from Tahawwur Hussain Rana? Okay. Mr. Raghuvanshi, if you heard me, sir.
Yes, sir. Your question was directed to me. Please repeat.
Yes, sir. Sir, I want to know what are the questions that is there on the minds of the investigating agencies. You know, multiple agencies, NSG and NIA was involved in bringing him on Indian soil. It is the entire extradition was carried out by them. But what about ATS? What is it that they would be interested in knowing?
ATS is also part of Indian police and Indian agencies only. Now, only question is, as far as Mumbai is concerned, since Headley and Rana, they had visited Mumbai number of times. They have exchanged a lot of information through mail and otherwise. Now, this will be very important to know when they came to India, when they were doing as a part of conspiracy, their visit here, whether any Indian hand or Indian operative had actively participated, because Jane Anjane is a different thing. But whether anybody from India was also part of it, because when investigation was done, it was only when after Kasab's information, which was initially when Kasab's information was revealed, Kasab revealed the information, and whatever was recovered quickly from the sea when the small boat owner and his servant was killed, and all those other equipments which they have brought and they have kept it there. They were really not knowing whether they will die or they will be alive. They were told, because I remember it when we were monitoring the conversation, one of the accused who was killed at Chabad House, he was crying that I was not told that I will be killed. I want to come back home. I was to come back home. So all these things, when Rana, who paid so many visits, who gave money, who opened the office for the Headley here in Mumbai, whether any Indian hand was involved. And second thing will be important was mentioned by earlier speaker. Earlier, it was revealed by Kasab himself that there are about 50 fellows were selected. 50 fellows were selected for the training. Ultimately, after fitness, they had to have a various kind of hardships, and who were ultimately 20 were finalized, and 14 were to be dispatched. So it was clear for every point they have kept two. So that means there are two or maybe more targets were identified. And secondly, it has come earlier in his statement that he has moved all over the country. He has moved to Delhi, he has moved to Hapur, he has moved to other places, Hyderabad. Whether Mumbai was the only place or there were other places also. And any important thing which is relevant for the investigation, maybe after 17 years have left. But in the investigation, if any Indian hand or any interesting thing which can help in preventing future such attacks, or investigative agencies or the security agencies can plan accordingly.
Very important what you are saying, sir. Sandeep, let me bring you in at this moment. Initially, and we have seen that time and again with Pakistan, the first reaction is denial. They are not Pakistani citizens. We don't know about them. We don't know how these people came in. And then layer by layer, the evidence keep coming, and then Pakistan is forced to admit as far as these people are concerned. But with Tahawwur Hussain Rana, the first reaction has been, of course, there is a link. He has served in the Pakistani army. He's a Pakistani citizen. He was a Pakistani citizen. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Pakistan says he has not updated his documents of citizenship in the last 2 decades or so. Will that be enough for Pakistan to once again feign deniability?
Well, Ankit, Pakistan is a country that is addicted to terrorism as an instrument of state policy. And I say this with a lot of seriousness because we have seen several such incidents in the past few decades. Osama bin Laden, the mastermind of 9/11, was staying near a Pakistan military academy in Abbottabad, reportedly sheltered by the ISI. They got away with that. So, why do we expect them to come out clean on Tahawwur Hussain Rana? They will do this. Deniability is part of Pakistan's strategy. One is using terrorism as an instrument of state policy. This is possibly the only country on earth where 3 of their 4 neighbors have directly accused them of sheltering terrorists and using it against them. You have India, of course, for several decades now. You have Iran, who accuses Pakistan of sheltering terrorists. And things are so bad, Ankit, that even the Taliban-ruled Afghanistan is accusing Pakistan of sheltering terrorists. I mean, that's how bad things are. And this is, for Pakistan, terrorism is an instrument of state policy. It is unlikely to give this up because it sees this as, a utilitarian tool of diplomacy. Just as we use our diplomats, Pakistan uses terrorism.
Then my subsequent question to that would be that, how does then that help us, Indian side, to once again put pressure or at least nail Pakistan as far as this case is concerned? Yes. Because, many of the things what Tahawwur Rana did are already, you have also detailed them in your book. How does this help us take that case forward?
Well, we can just make a case that the Pakistan deep state was involved in this, Ankit. The fact that there were generals of the Pakistan army, the ISI, who were involved. This came out in David Headley's interrogation to the NIA in 2010. But now you have Tahawwur Hussain Rana, who is a mole of the Pakistan state, was planted in North America, coming out and detailing the fine links of the Pakistan military to these attacks. Who gave them the money, who gave them the directions, who did the planning, who did the training. All of that could come out to Tahawwur Hussain Rana's statements to the NIA and the Indian authorities. But I'm not very hopeful of anything spectacular coming out of this, Ankit. Given the fact that how Pakistan is a state that is constantly in denial, that infrastructure of terrorism that exists over there is unlikely to be dismantled. It has to be done, I hate to say this, it has to be done with force. And that is something that no country is willing to do because of the fact that they are a nuclear armed state. And they have beautifully crafted the sword and shield strategy where they use the shield of nuclear weapons and one of the world's largest militaries to protect the sword of terrorism, which they use against all their neighbors. Okay. So it doesn't really matter at the end of the day whether you give them dossiers, you give them evidence. They will deny everything and admit to nothing.
Okay. Mr. Vasan, let me give you the last word on this show. My question is that when, Abu Salim was extradited to India, there was an understanding which was reached with the Portuguese. The government of Portugal was that he will not be given a death sentence. Is there a similar agreement which has been agreed upon in this particular case with the Americans?
Not to my knowledge, because the capital punishment is awarded in several states in the United States, which was not the case with Portugal, because there the capital punishment is not awarded, and that's why that country, that is Portugal, asked for a sovereign undertaking that whenever he will be tried and punished, he shall not be awarded capital punishment. I don't think this is going to happen in case of Tahawwur Rana.
All right, that brings us to the end of this broadcast. Sandeep, KP Raghuvanshi and Navneet Vasan, thank you so much for joining us here on NDTV.